Hello, in this video I will explain to you how to install the system for automatic opening and closing of the greenhouse. Before starting the assembly, it is important to ensure that there is at least 5 cm of space on the greenhouse foil rod for attaching the coupling from the motor. Attach the coupling from the motor. Through the coupling, we drill holes in the greenhouse tubing. Then push the screws through the holes and fasten them with a nut. Prepare the telescopic tubings to which the motors will be attached. Telescopic tubings are not part of the standard offer, as they depend on the specifics of the greenhouses. We connect the system box to the power supply and place it in the greenhouse. Then we turn it on. The light, the screen and the camera make it harder to see the screen in the video. When the system is turned on, the message, "Cal off," appears, which means that the system is not calibrated and will not operate in automatic mode. However, for now we will focus on the manual mode of operation. To turn on the manual mode, we must press both buttons at the same time and hold them until 6 lines appear on the screen. The display will read, manual, and the current temperature will be displayed, e.g. 38 degrees Celsius. At this moment, the temperature may be displayed incorrectly, as it is necessary to calibrate the thermometer. More on calibration later. Now let's rotate the engines to find out which is the right engine and which is the left engine. Make sure that the motors rotate correctly in the direction of opening or closing when you hold the button for opening, up, or closing, down. Then we move the motors to the telescopic tubings and attach them to them. On the telescopic tubings there is a hole for a screw where we attach the motor. The next step is to attach the motors to the tubings of the greenhouse. We find that the motors are not properly aligned. Press the up or down button on the box to properly align the motors with the coupling. When they are aligned, we fasten them with screws. We repeat the same process on the other side. Important: before turning the motors on the box, we must remove the handles on the side where we have already attached the motor. Failure to do so may damage the greenhouse. We turn the engine so that it is aligned with the coupler and fasten it. At this point, if the handles are attached to the greenhouse, we need to remove both. An unremoved handle can cause damage to the greenhouse. The next step is to unroll the sides of the greenhouse 25 cm before hitting the lowest obstacle that the side would hit during closing. At this moment, we set the motor limit switches. Motor limit switches are mechanical parts that recognize limit positions. In our case, these are the lowest and highest position of the greenhouse curtain tubing. First, we set the lowest limit switch. Hold the down button on the box for 1 second to turn on the engine light. The color of the light tells us which of the 2 limit switches we are setting. In this case, it is red. Set the arrow on the red switch as close as possible to the limit switch contact. We do the same on the other side. Then, using the lowering button on the box, lower the motors to the final lower position and check that the switches are working. If the button to lower the motors no longer works, we know the switches are working properly. Next, we set the upper limit switches of the motors. For this we need to raise the curtains of the greenhouse about 25 cm to the uppermost barrier. Same as before, hold the up button for 1 second to see the color of the end switch to be set. In this case it is red. Set the arrow as close as possible to the limit switch contact. We do the same on the other side. To check that the limit switches are set correctly, hold the lift button. If the switches are set correctly, the motors will move up a bit and stop quickly. If the switches are not set correctly and you raise the sides for too long, you can damage the greenhouse. Once you have the motor limit switches set, remember to close the limit switch covers. Calibration is probably the easiest part of the whole assembly. To get to the calibration mode on the box, we must first switch to the manual mode. Then hold both buttons until 6 lines appear on the screen. Let's just release the top button. Zeros will start to appear on the screen. When 3 8s appear, press the top button back. 3 additional 8s will then appear. When 6 8s are lit on the screen, we can release both buttons. If CAL is displayed in the upper line of the screen, we are in calibration mode. To start the calibration process, hold the button up until 3 lines appear in the bottom line. That's all you have to do. The greenhouse will then close and begin the calibration process, opening and closing once and recording current consumption and time. Calibration is crucial for sectional opening of the greenhouse and detection of obstacles that may jam into the sides of the greenhouse. After calibration, the box will automatically switch to automatic mode. To calibrate the temperature, you need a reference thermometer. Place it together with the sensor from the box and leave them for a few minutes to adjust to the same temperature. Then set the box to automatic mode. Repeat the same key combination you used for the torque and time calibration mode. Hold both buttons until 6 lines appear on the screen. Then release only the top button. When the 3 8s appear, press the top button back. 3 additional 8s will then appear. When 6 8s are lit on the screen, you can release both buttons. If the inscription SEN appears on the upper part of the screen, we are in the calibration mode of the thermometer. Set the same temperature on the box as you read from the reference sensor using the up and down buttons. To save the setting, simply exit this mode by pressing both buttons. The system is fully assembled and set up for automatic use. All you have to do is set the desired temperature in the greenhouse. A beautiful day!